annoyed you didn't fly with us. And I heard that you didn't want to fly with us because it was Coach. Who told you that? Aaron. No, I said, that's not what I said.
A few minutes later.
I didn't want to fly Coach.
I didn't want to fly Coach.
Olivia Cobb. But your skin's beautiful. You're beautiful. You're lovely. You're one of those fabulous women in the world. Have you ever seen it?
I'm sure she's looked at every picture.
What's up, y'all? It's Brian Keith, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of New York City, season 14, episode 8. And yeah, this episode was, we about to put the pressure on Jenna. I feel like half of it was unwarranted. I feel like the other half, you know, I feel like it was good to see Jenna under this pressure. But y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Yeah, let me check my shit real quick. Hotter than the fire coming out my flaming lips. You wanna play with me? You can't play in me. On the playground, bitch, you can't play with me. Got it, want it, securing the bag.
Sai and Uber, they're basically going out for, you know, shopping for the whole Anguilla trip. We found out that Sai's putting together a trip for the girls just to, you know, get away after the holidays, this, that, and the third.
Hello, how are you? You are like a sugar daddy all the way. Taking me to Anguilla, Zimmerman.
And, you know, Sai brings up the whole situation about Jenna's gift bags. And, you know, she feels that, you know, there's an ulterior motive, and she feel like, you know, feel like there's an ulterior motive, and being that, you know, she has all these collabs within the gifts, she's just like, okay, so what is really the deal? Like, you know, are you coming from a good place, or are you just doing this just to profit off of the brands that you work with?
Nothing is free. Like, you're hoping to have intentions of someone sharing, everyone sharing.
I think there's two things to this. One, I feel like it's smart for her to profit off of the brands that she work with, because at the end of the day, reality TV is not forever. So it's smart to put those brands out there. Two, you know, I can see why it does feel a little bit disingenuous. You come to a party, you bring all these gifts, just bags and bags. Like, yes, girl, she got the money. So you come into the party, you know, with friends, you think that everything is like cool, but, you know, all of a sudden it's stuff for your branding purposes. Now, if this was like a regular friend group that wasn't on TV, like my friend group, and one of my friends was an influencer and she brought us like gifts, I wouldn't think nothing of it. Like, this is like extra stuff you got for branding. Cool. I have no issue with that. But I could see why, you know, they would think that it would be disingenuous when you're coming on a TV show that's recorded and you're basically giving us gifts to profit off of us, the viewers, seeing it.
A real gift is from the heart. A Jenna Lyons gift is a marketing gift.
So Sai tells Uber about the whole situation, that Aaron was mad at her about leaving her engagement party early, and Uber's like, yeah, you know, I thought I was wrong. You shouldn't have did that. And Sai was like, well, you know, I understand. I was hungry. She's like, that's not an excuse, girl. You should have figured something out. Like, beforehand, like, you should have at least said bye. But then Sai was like, well, you know, I apologize. So it was what it was.
Of you to do that. I was so hungry. Why did you order pizza or something? Order pizza at a party? Yeah, it's better that than leaving. I apologize though.
But Sai, you didn't apologize. Like, when and where did you do that? Because you said, I don't care. You didn't apologize. You said, I don't care. That's what you said, right? So she quickly switched the subject on Brynn and was just like, well, you know, Brynn and Aaron got into it. That's why Aaron left the whole party early, because Brynn made the whole divorce comments, and Uber's kind of shocked because, mind you, Uber wasn't here for any of this. I feel like they probably filled her in, but she still didn't witness it like all the other girls did.
Thing about what Brynn said to Abe about maybe we can get together when you're divorced. So they got into it and started. So,
you know, this will be the first time that Aaron and Brynn will see each other since the whole wreath making party. And, you know, we'll see how it happens. So we see Jenna and her brother Spencer, who's from California. He's in town with his kids and his wife for, you know, the holidays, and they go to Rockefeller Center. And, you know, basically we see like Jenna's contribution to the community, and I feel like this was a great scene. And, you know, I'm not trying to give Jenna Lyons too much, but I do want to give her credit where credit is due. Like last episode where she was like, you know, I want to invite Sai here just to give a face and give visibility to the people that feel invisible. For now, she's partnering with Rockefeller to revamp it in the retail spaces, to bring Black owned businesses, women owned businesses, Latinx businesses into a space that, you know, they wouldn't have the opportunity to get that space, or would have been a little bit harder for them to get that. So for her to bring that up, and like that's her initiative and her mission statement for that center to revamp it, I feel like that's great, because the whole situation and the whole motto of New York is the melting pot. So I feel like if New York is a melting pot, it needs to reflect that, right? So shout out to Jenna. I feel like Jenna Lyons was a great casting choice, because I feel like she brings a celebrity to the show, and she also is unconventional. She's an unconventional housewife, right? So, you know, Jenna and her brother talk about her whole skin condition. They go to a whole bar and they just sit here just chatting it up. And she talks like, you know, all the girls are so gorgeous and I don't look like them. And like with my skin condition, like it's just like so crazy. I don't want to have to wear sweatpants and shirts and long sleeves because, you know, I feel insecure about it. And, you know, we all have some type of insecurities. Like I have a skin condition, and I also have a digestive condition as well. So, you know, those are some things that, you know, people do worry about. So I understand her concerns. Hence the reason why when, you know, Aaron shows up to her house the next day, you know, she basically, you know, tells her about the whole skin condition thing. So we fly over to Los Angeles. Bryn meets her brother. They're there for a holiday because her brother is in Seoul, Korea. He's a teacher, and she's obviously in New York. So they're just meeting in the middle. Her brother is really cute, right? And low-key, but high-key kind of fine, but to each his own. I'm not gonna do too much.
I'm gonna come to New York. You turned into kind of like an international woman of mystery the last year or so. Like, what are you doing?
Bryn has conflicting, they're basically on a hiking trail, and they're, you know, just talking about life and like, you know, where they're currently at in their life, business, mental. And she talks about she's very conflicted because, you know, she's not married. She's been engaged 3 times. She probably would have been divorced 3 times. And she feels that, you know, I feel like she travels to escape her trauma. And I feel like a lot of people do certain things to escape their trauma and not talk about what really goes on. Like with me, it's like I'm very vocal. I'm a type of person where I just want to go ahead and talk about it because I don't have the time to keep it bottled up. That's why when I was at college, I went to therapy just to talk about certain stuff that was going on in my life. And instead of compartmentalize a lot of things, I would just like want to talk about it. And that's one thing with me, with my family, is that they really don't want to talk about a lot of stuff, especially like deep dive in certain issues. My whole thing, it might be a hard conversation, but I'd rather just go ahead and get out on the table and let's deal with the aftermath afterwards, because holding it in and being fake is just going to just build it up and just going to be a nightmare, right? So she's basically getting emotional because of her upbringing. Her upbringing was very tough, and she feels like the people that was supposed to be in her life to protect her, provide, and, you know, build her up didn't do that. They just basically left her and failed her and left her with her grandma.
Like an unconditional love and whatnot, because aside from you and our sister, I've never felt it from the people that were put on this earth to do it for us. Never did it.
And when her grandma died, her dog died. So all these things happen where she feel like she's in like a, I would say, midlife crisis, right? So her brother, he's her confidant, and he's there just to, you know, be her rock and be her brother. So I love their relationship. Erin, she goes over to Jenna's apartment. I don't know if it's the same one or not, because I'm like, is this Jenna's like 3rd house? Because she got a house in the Hamptons. She had the other house from the first 2 episodes. Is this the same house? I don't know. It might be. Erin brought her a butternut squash, and, you know, it was a good gesture. They basically reminisce and they talk about the whole Jenna's teeth surgery and how she got headaches and stuff. I bet she's in pain. I remember one of my friends, we were in Houston, Texas, and literally he had to get his teeth pulled literally the day before we flew. Baby, when I said that, I felt like his brain was about to blow up. I was like, no man. Lord, we was praying. Okay, on the main line. Erin tells Jenna that, you know, she was on the fence about even going to Anguilla because of the whole situation with the party and how she stormed out. She felt like nobody had her back, and she felt like everybody was kept giving excuses for why Erin did why Bryn did what she did.
Is that anyway?
Wait, you were not gonna come?
I thought about not going.
Why?
I don't know. That day felt icky.
The day that we were reconnecting?
And I kind of feel that too. Even in this moment, I felt like Jenna really tried to give like a pass to Bryn, like, well, you know, she's super flirty, this, that, and the third. Okay, that's fine that she can be super flirty, but she still was kind of disrespectful. And I'm not even gonna say kind of, she was disrespectful.
As you were actually gone, I was like, oh shit. I'm sorry that felt bad. I didn't totally understand that it was feeling like that.
No, I just felt like,
Jenna was like, well, I wish that I knew that you were like that upset. I thought you were just joking, that you're just gonna walk out and you're gonna come back. I didn't know you were that upset. And my whole thing with Jenna is like, stop playing aloof. You knew exactly what was going on. You saw how upset she was. Like, regardless of if she was gonna come back or not, if you were concerned, like you say you were, Jenna, then if she did storm out, then why don't you go after her? I don't know if you did or didn't, but I mean, the show, it didn't seem like you went after her like to console. So, but The aloofness, no ma'am. You are highly intelligent. So Aaron feels like, you know, Bryn's attitude is just too much and she really not about to deal with it on the trip. So Aaron basically brings up, you know, Bryn being mad at Jenna for, you know, going to Anguilla early. And Jenna basically wants to get some sun so she can basically even out her skin tone. Like where her skin, she has like a lot of skin splotches where it's like hyperpigmentation of different parts of her body. And, you know, Jenna, she makes the choice, and I feel like it was a bad choice, but she makes the choice anyway to tell Aaron the real reason why she wanted to go.
My glorious teeth that fall out of my mouth. My skin is like 8 million different colors. It's too much of my coach. Shut the up.
She was like, look, I don't fly coach and I want to fly business class. My assistant said that there was one open. That's what I took. And, you know, Aaron's shocked. She's like, oh my God, I feel like Jenna is like, you know, I've never seen this side of Jenna. She's just such a diva. And my whole thing is this. I'm not shocked, right? I respect the move because at the end of the day, if you have a standard of life that you live, regardless if I'm on a show or not, if I'm used to flying business class, that's what I'm going to fly. If production is going to pay for everybody to fly coach, that's cool. I will use my money and buy a business class because that's what I expect for my lifestyle. And like Jenna said, she's like, I'm too old. I'm over 6 foot. I'm not going to be sitting in no coach. So I'm going to get business / first class. And if you don't like it, you just don't like it. That's the energy that she should have had with these girls. Like, I did what I did. If you don't like it, okay. And what's up? Like, I don't like people keep explaining themselves. And if I ever happen to be on a reality TV show, I'm going to have to keep that in the back of my mind. Like, why are you explaining yourself to these bitches? Why? That's you made the decision. That's your money. Like, you don't owe them nothing. Right. But I do feel like the production should have got everybody first / business class anyway. But hey, basically the next day is time for Jenna to travel. She's over here at JFK. She's over here peace, quiet. She's drinking her drink, legs crossed, flying, having a good time. I'm like, girl, I'm not mad at you. Go get your son on, right? But you know, we end up at Jessel's house and she's talking to her husband. She was like, okay, so you want to go to Vietnam for what? Because you brought that up to my parents at dinner and this is the first time I was hearing about it. So what's really going on? So, you know, I wouldn't be as mad if I was Jessel. I wouldn't be as mad if he was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to Vietnam. I planned this. You already knew about it. You know, I'm just letting you know, blah, 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 blah. Cool. But for him to basically do it because of the fact that she's going on the girl trip for 5 days, so he wants to go to Vietnam for 3 days, and she's like, what about the kids? He's like, you gonna have to figure it out. I'm not too mad because at the end of the day, like, I'm just like, right. But you know, Jess was just like, okay, I can book you a staycation. Like, you could stay here. Like, if you trying to get time away to yourself, why don't you just do a staycation? I'll book it for you. I'll pay it. And he's like, no, you know, where can I get a banh mi sandwich? Like, I'm trying to go to Vietnam. And she's like, okay, Vietnam is a 20-hour flight there and then 20 hours back. That's almost, you're gonna have like a day and a half to spend there. He's like, I'm like, that's a man. That is a man. Jessel and her husband, they're funny. They're really funny. Because Jessel, one thing about Jessel, she's going to read her husband down every time. But it's the next day, the travel day. The girls are traveling in coach.
Yeah, man, we're gonna need to check your bag. I know how to travel, guys.
And you know, they basically arrived to Anguilla. It was beautiful. Like, Anguilla is just such a beautiful place. They get to the house. The house is stunning, right? And you know, we found out that 2 girls have to share a bedroom. To be honest, since Jenna wasn't there, I would have just volunteered Jenna. Like, girl, you know, you got to share a bedroom because you wasn't here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. But you know, Uba and Jessel decided to share a bedroom, and I mean, their bedroom's huge, so I mean, it is what it was. One thing I didn't like was when all the girls walked in, they get greeted by the hospitality staff.
Welcome to Sea Villa. I'm Patricia. Nice to meet you, Patricia. Okay, let's go. Thank you. Have some chill towels for you. Need your tea.
I didn't like the fact that they all ran upstairs when the manager was trying to basically let them know like what's going on or give them a tour. I worked in hospitality, I worked in retail, and I'm a big on respecting people that work in service, comfort, and food services. I do not play about that. That's like my biggest pet peeve because I've worked in there and I've experienced a lot of disrespect and racism towards myself and other people from customers that we're trying to serve. And y'all don't know that You know, like, that's what I tell people. Y'all don't really realize that people can do so much to your food. People can do so much to your room. People can really screw you over. Like, y'all just don't realize that. So I try to have the utmost respect. So when she was trying to talk, I mean the manager, the villa manager, when she was trying to talk and explain like probably the rules and, you know, give them the layout, they just ran upstairs to find the room. I thought that was really disrespectful and highly rude, right? But other than that, you know, they all find their bedrooms. They leave the small one for Jenna. And, you know, the girls go outside and they basically sit down and eat their lunch, and they do their favorite thing. And their favorite thing is what? Talking about Jenna Lyons and basically pumping their heads up so much that they can be mad and, you know, wait for her to come and be passive aggressive towards her. Right.
That dental surgery, and she was really close by, so I made her a soup. I came over.
That's so sweet.
Nice. Yeah, it was like flying down 2 days early to tan because of her genetic disorder, and she feels uncomfortable, and she wanted to tan. I was like, oh, okay.
So, you know, Aaron tells the girls about Jenna not wanting to fly coach, and I felt like, girl, there was no point. I get it, it's a show, cool, but everyone looks disgusted. Sighs like, ew, oh my god, like, this is so like, she's a diva, da 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 da.
And then she was like, the truth is, I'm not flying down with you guys because I don't fly coach. Ew. Okay.
They go in and grab their food, and, you know, Sai, shout out to her for actually having food, because if she didn't have food, girl, I was gonna wreck your name through this video, because you had so much to say about every other woman's event not having food or not having enough food or not eating. Like, okay, I'll give you that one. But, you know, they sit around bashing Jenna, basically calling her opportunist. She could suck my this and the third. They feel like she's like an opportunist with the branding situation, social media.
Traveling together, staying together. I feel like sometimes Jenna doesn't have the 101s on the girlfriend hand.
And, you know, I do feel like that post that she made about unboxing the social media on the gifts, it didn't help. It didn't help her case. It really didn't. But, you know, Jenna finally arrives. She walks in looking golden, rested, relaxed, and rich.
Everything. Why didn't you come with us? Like, tell us everything that's going on. We were just talking about you. I'm sure.
So she walks outside and they like speaking of the devil. I'm just like, girl, like, it's not giving that. Like, Jenna literally is smiling. Like, the girl is like, her first really girl trip. Like, it's not really giving all that. Like, Jenna don't even come with that energy, right? But she sits down and the girls switch it up. They were just like, oh my god, hey girl, oh my god, you're so gorgeous. Yes, girl, yes, queen, yes, we love you, girl. They do all that. But, you know, Jenna basically, she sits down and, you know, Sai basically kicks it off. I wish Jenna knew how to read. Like, read, not read, but read. If she knew how to read, they would hate her guts. I feel like she got some like one-liners, but she really don't know how to read. None of them do. But I wish she did, right? But you know, Jenna basically talks about her whole skin condition, and because they were basically questioning like why she show up late, this and the third, her flying business class, and the third, like just grilling her. And, you know, I feel like Aaron's comment in the confessional was kind of distasteful, because at that moment she knew what Jenna's skin condition was. So for her to basically try to throw digs at her skin condition, like she was like, oh, you struggle with you have insecurities about your skin, but you're over here showing so much skin now, girl. So can she not feel confident? Like, I just find it weird, and just like girl, like it's crazy. So she can't be confident herself. You want her to wear a whole fur coat or burlap sack? Like, what are we doing? But, you know, the girls try to give Jenna the floor. She starts to talk, but then, you know, Sai brings up, you know, oh yeah, you know, she told us that you want to fly coach. She's like, who said that? She's like, Aaron.
And I heard that you didn't want to fly with us because it was coach. Who told you that? Aaron. Okay.
And Jenna was like, oh, that's not what I said. Jenna, Miss Jenna, that is what you said.
No, I said, that's not what I said.
I didn't want to fly coach.
I didn't want to fly coach.
That's what you said. Yeah, that's what you said, for real. So Jenna tries to open up and tells the girls about her skin condition, this, that, and the third. And, you know, the girls really don't care. And then, you know, she's talking about, you know, the dog, Miami. I got confused too, because I was like, the relevance. But I think she was trying to figure out like a time to get some sun, but she just has so much going on. But, you know, Bryn's confused just like how I was a little bit.
At Christmas time, I couldn't. My friend got a puppy.
And so I'm so confused. There's a puppy, there's Miami, and you got surgery, and then I'm so confused.
When Jenna tries to rebuttal, she brings up, okay, you know, the puppy, Miami, you know, the mouth, what's going on? Because it's confusing. She's like, I feel like that's a cop out. And then Jenna's over here talking about, well, you know, all you ladies look so beautiful. She's like, no, we're not having that. And I'm not mad at Brynn for finally speaking her mind towards Jenna, because there is something there and there's some type of frustration.
I mean, I don't actually know how on earth it would be a cop out.
But your skin's beautiful, you're beautiful, you're
It's
lovely.
not.
You're one of the most fabulous women in the world.
Have you ever seen it, Brynn? You've never.
I feel like the whole situation with Brynn is the fact that, you know, Brynn and Jenna have like a little disagreement, but I wish that, you know, Jenna would just say, I said what I said, I did what I did, I made my choice. If you don't like it, deal with it.
I said what I said.
It's over. I don't have nothing, like, you don't like it. Okay, I did what I did. And what?
What else is going on? What else is going on?
What's next? What else is going on? As Cynthia Bailey would say. So after that, you know, the girls basically, you know, halt the whole conversation. They stop. They try to get ready for dinner. They go inside. All the girls go and like get their suitcases, this, that, and the third. So Jenna's talking to Jessel, and you know, Jessel checks on her, and she's just talking to her about
Like, and I can't figure it out. There's some sort of resentment, and the resentment is now built, and so now anything I do is like a trigger.
Poor Jenna.
Jenna feels like there's some type of resentment there, and you know, I feel like there's jealousy, not necessarily resentment. I feel like there's some type of jealousy, or Brynn looks at Jenna like, you know, Jenna Lyons, president of J. Crew, fashion icon to the stars. I feel like that's how Brynn sees Jenna, and she's just like, you know, she's this girl. I just want her to be open and honest. I feel like Brynn actually wants to be friends with Jenna, but Jenna is like, Jenna gives me the type of person where it's like, I got to get to know you before I break down my walls, because if I break down my walls and you hurt me, stupid, it's gonna just make things worse. Jessica feels like the girls used her insecurities and threw it back at her, and I really feel like that's what it was. And Jenna tells her, like, you know, either me and Brynn are gonna find a road to each other, or we're not. It is what it is. And like I said, like, Jessel and Jenna are really becoming like two of my favorites. Jenna's becoming my favorite. You know, Aaron irritates me because Aaron always have a problem with something. But I do like the fact that Erin speaks her mind, and if she has a problem, she's gonna say it right then and there. Even if it's unwarranted, even if it's annoying, she's gonna say how she feels. I like that. Sai loses a little bit of points for me because I feel like sometimes Sai can be a little bit like try hard, and I like Sai, I relate to Sai, but it's like sometimes like it's not that deep, right? Brynn, I really do like Brynn, but I think next episode I saw the sneak peek where she doesn't want to talk about, or she wants to apologize for the whole comments, but she's apologizing for, she's not trying to apologize for the divorce thing. I'm just like, girl, you talk about two different things. Like, that's not what we talk about. Uba, I feel like Uba's gonna shine the second half of the season. I feel like she's really about to just come out her bag, right? If I miss anybody else, I'm sorry. But y'all, like, comment, and subscribe. That was the video. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.